like it's been a fortnight. Okay, well, welcome. This is the
WerePanda
Productions Podcast.
How many times have we done this?
2 weeks and everyone forgets it.
Featuring
And Daniel.
Oh my god.
Levi.
Leave it alone, Alan.
A-Rod.
and Kylie.
There we go.
had
I know
to
you've
do it.
always wanted to, Daniel.
I remembered
Oh my
today.
goodness.
Was
Coasters.
What about them?
That
We
would
got really
stop
soft
the.
one. It would soften the sound.
Oh.
Or how about we
We
just don't be animals?
Hey ho yeah ha.
It'll be like the ruffians.
A pirate's life.
No,
Pirate.
what that was.
It was a
Kinda
pirate
scares
jig.
me.
It was what? It's a shanty.
Yeah.
What?
Pirate's
life for me.
What do you do with the
That's
drunken
one of
sailor?
the. What do you do with the
Alright,
drunken
we got
sailor?
it.
I loved when I got that shanty on Assassin's
That
Creed
was
4.
such a good
I would always skip to that one just because that's the only one I wanted to
It
listen
reminds
to.
me of like GTA when you can like change the radio, but for a boat.
It was great. I would go sailing just to listen to those she shanties.
So,
Get your digital sea legs.
Yeah,
what's been happening with everyone?
not too much.
I got my first speeding ticket. Like
Ever?
Yeah,
That's your
ever.
first. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that was your first one ever.
The Friday before the Super Bowl, it was. I swear, cops have quotas after like.
Oh,
what
I know they
witnessed.
have quotas.
Was because it was like it was the 30th, so like the month was almost over, and I saw like 5 cops on my way to work, and the cop that pulled me over, like I saw him pull, like he was just barely getting done pulling someone else over,
Ugh.
and then he pulled me over, and I was like, dude, I saw you pulling over another car. Do you think I'm that dumb that I would like try something while you were there? And he was just like, well, you probably need to just get your speedometer checked. And I'm like,
His car's
It's a brand new
2015.
car.
I know that's I
Car.
didn't want to
So he-
press it anymore.
the problem
I
is that
did.
they can.
I was like, maybe you should recalibrate your speed, like your
Your
radar.
radar.
or something, but, like,
So maybe
Well,
you
Like,
did he
that's the
even
same
use his
argument.
radar gun?
yeah, he said I clocked you going. Like,
Did he show?
that's-
Did you ask him to show you?
I didn't.
If he doesn't show you, you can get away from it. They have to be able to show you that if you request it. You can say, "Can I see it?"
But I didn't.
If you had, then you could say, "Well, if." And in that case, if they say, "No, I don't have it. I was clocking multiple cars," it's like if you don't have it, then technically I wasn't speeding, and this will stand for me, and I'll fight that in court.
Well, it's also stupid because the cop already had someone pulled over, and even if they, had like Aaron saw the other car, the car that they had pulled over.
Like he had his lights on still. He was
and
like he must have just barely gotten done because I was just getting on the on ramp.
well, that's
And it
my
was
question:
right
is
after I got
how
into the freeway.
how is it that the
happened.
cop was able to walk back to his car after dealing with the person and pull out his radar gun and just happen to point it at Aaron?
Well, and you're going on the
see.
on ramp.
Yeah, like I had just barely gotten on the.
How
freeway.
were you speeding if you just got on this freeway?
What did he say you were doing? Like 75?
Yeah, it was only for 5 miles over the speed limit.
75 and a
Yeah.
70.
Yeah,
I mean, that could just be.
getting on the freeway.
Yeah, that could just be like.
merging with traffic.
Yeah, there's. I mean, you can make it up 5 on accident just by slightly pushing on the gas.
Well,
Like
that wouldn't stand. I just highly doubt you went 75.
Oh,
It's okay. Like even if
No
I was
offense.
going 75, it's 5 miles over.
it's going with the flow of traffic. The way I always thought was, cops are pulling over people who are going like 5 miles over or everything when they clock them. The people they need to be going after are the people zooming
15,
in and out of
25,
traffic,
yeah.
Cutting people off and everything. I've had cars cut me off, and then a cop drives by, and I'm like, oh, now you're going to get it. And then all of a sudden they pull over this random person, and I'm like, I was going the same speed as that person. Why are they pulling over this person?
Yeah. I've had people like run through red lights with like a cop sitting there. I'm like, oh, it's about to go down. The cop's gonna get him. Nothing happens. And I'm like, What?
Like, were you paying
I
attention?
know,
Are you
like,
watching
well,
the same
it's
street
like,
I am?
Did I tell you guys
Get off
about
your
that
computer.
one time that I got pulled over even though it was the other person's fault?
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know
So,
if you saw the story.
I don't know if I told it here, but I had a green arrow to turn right on the street I was on, so I could just go for it. And there's someone in the gas station in the corner who decides that they're not going to stop and look; they're just going to leave the gas station. And so
they just
they just went out, and so I turned right. They start coming out, so I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll just move over to the left lane
and let them
move
in.
into
Or
the
maybe
right
go
one.
to the
But
left.
they moved all the way over to the left lane and
Totally
cut me off.
off.
And I just slam on my brakes, and I
Yeah,
honked the horn, and I was just like, whatever. So then I start going, and then this police officer comes, pulls me over, and is all like, what happened back there?
Yeah.
And so I told him, I was turning right onto this street. Some jerk cut me off out of the gas station, and I had to brake. So I could have gotten in an accident. Why are you pulling me over at this? I didn't say that, but I'm like thinking, why are you pulling me over? Obviously, you didn't see it, or else you wouldn't have pulled me over. You would have pulled
Why would
him
it be
over.
that person that honked?
Yeah.
Their fault.
Exactly.
I mean, there's obviously some times where
Yeah.
that would be the case, but
The cop thinks
More
it's
times
like
than
road
not.
rage, but it's just like
Well, Alan had his Mitsubishi
Eclipse,
Eclipse
yeah.
back at that point, and the other car was just a
oh, yeah.
car.
Right.
So of course,
Sporty.
the cop assumes the sports car was the one causing issues. When the reality is, we were teenagers and we could only afford these, cheaper sports cars like this one. Like I hated that about my Mitsubishi is, people assume that you're just some reckless driver and everything like that. Maybe it was the only car we could afford.
How long had I been searching for a car before I got that Eclipse? Months.
I could have bought that bug. That
Oh,
Yeah.
gross.
red bug.
I'm glad.
oh
you did.
yeah, I do.
I say that to Aaron because Aaron's like, "Oh, I would have totally bought that car."
Yeah, I think I would have back then. They were so cool.
Bugs.
Yeah.
Was it the
God.
old style bug with the hood and with the trunk in the
No,
front?
it was newer. Well, I don't know.
I think all of them have the trunk in the front, even if it's newer.
Really? I
Yeah.
haven't checked. I don't. Wow. Anyone else
Pretty
know
sure.
that? Any of our listeners?
Yeah.
Text us.
Email us.
I like,
general@werepandaproductions.com.
I like my trunks in the back. Me prefer. That's just
Don't
my
crunch the front.
preference.
Wouldn't
Makes-
the front trunk be like boobs?
Or like that weird.
No, those
thing
are
that-
Yeah, that
I
weird,
think that's the
muffin
headlights.
top.
And the
Yeah.
bottom is
Yeah,
like
the
the grill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where they gotta wear those.
Are we
long
really going to
jeans.
go over the anatomy of a car, guys?
Just from
Some-
what I think
Some people
I
are
have
into
picked
that.
up
Some
from.
people are into that.
I mean, if we're really going to go into it, like,
Yeah.
the tires are the hands and legs. So the boobs would be under the undercarriage.
No, I
You
like it
didn't
when they
see
got
it.
some nice headlights though.
Okay,
They can't see
moving
your
on.
actions, so we're gonna move on.
He's honking.
So I gotta do the clown
I was
noise.
gonna
now.
say honka honka. So you guys, I know I haven't really talked to you guys about it a lot, but the housing hunt is actually going really well-ish.
That's an interesting way.
Well, like-
What? How
It's
is it
good.
breaking
There
well?
are
story.
a lot of really good houses out there that I keep seeing,
What makes
Loving
it like
them.
Wales?
But-
though?
but they keep getting
Wellish?
taken. So it's good because there are a lot of good houses, and I keep seeing good houses. But bad because by the time we're ready to actually get a house,
That one's taken
that
too.
one's taken. Yeah, two. Yeah,
Stop.
I hate it because we found like maybe not the perfect, but we found
A really nice one. yeah.
nice one, and it
It's
was
pretty close to
taken.
perfect.
It was.
And then it was taken 3 ways to Sunday, right?
Oh, hey, update.
Perhaps we should.
No tax return yet,
Release it.
so I get to call the IRS tomorrow and say, all right, now it's been 9 months since you promised you'd give me my last year's tax return.
Yeah, it's been 9 months since you promised it to me. It's been over a year since I filed. Yeah.
Well, they'll probably need your social security number. What's that?
Yeah. Let me say it out loud. 876-543-2111.
You just screwed someone over.
That
didn't
was
you?
too long.
Was it?
Yeah.
8679. 8675309.
Yine.
Yeah. What?
It's German.
Jenny, that's hers. That's what we were quoting. 867.
I know.
Oh.
I don't know about
Well,
that.
don't give me a blank stare of wondering what we're talking about. You
the-
know what
it
we're
was
talking
the
about.
German
thing.
No.
I'm sorry, I'm not German.
You know, I bet a lot of our listeners don't get the Jenny reference. Like, that's older than we are.
But it's an 80s song.
Hence her. She's right.
It's
All right.
Are
older than
any
we
of us
are.
from the
It's the only
80s?
phone number I still remember. Yeah.
Besides your own Idaho?
I don't even know. I know my own.
On a
I
good
know
day,
it like
maybe.
the back of my hand.
Oh, that's new.
That is such an old thing.
Or a new thing.
Okay.
I just said
Thanks, you
it was
hipster.
new. I thought it was cool before it was cool.
That justified it right there.
Well, today I was doing the 10,000 calorie challenge where I had to eat 10,000 calories in 24 hours. I've got like 3 hours left.
Where's your Nutella, Aaron?
It's
Should
in
we
the
pull it?
cabinet.
Should we
Oh
pull
my
it out?
gosh.
So you
How
can
much
keep
more
eating?
have you
He's got
eaten?
like
I-
1.5 cans of Nutella.
Yeah.
How many calories are in root beer?
So
Not that
I started 12 a.m. and like I ate about 2,000 calories before I went to bed. And then this whole day I've ate like 5,000 calories. But like I don't want to eat anymore or do anything else. I'm
It totally
so-
looks like he's about to cry, like he's being forced to eat all
Like-
this food. I don't
Cry
know.
emoji.
Oh, why
Well,
do I
you
have
just
to
gotta-
eat this milkshake?
So the problem was that you tried to do this without doing any exercise to burn.
I
the
did
work
exercise.
No, he just did it today though. When I got here, you weren't doing anything. You
Since
sat at your
last night.
computer all day.
What do you mean?
Whoa.
Because I had to sit on my
Whoa.
computer.
Bro,
I'm
all
not
day.
saying
no.
that's a
I
bad
was
thing.
doing
No.
work.
For the
For the
company.
company.
I'm not saying you shouldn't have been. I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna participate in a challenge like this, you have to set aside a lot of time for exercise. Like, you have to exercise.
You
your
should have
time to
been
be-
walking while eating Nutella.
Yeah.
Well,
like-
this weekend.
No, the Nutella was like the ace in the hole.
You
like,
should have
I
also.
thought your bacon shake was the ace
Well,
in the
yeah,
hole.
but then I just got one, and so I had to find a new ace in the hole.
You
Why
should
did you?
have made
Why
a
did you
plan.
go and buy Nutella when you could have gone and bought another shake?
Because like I thought Nutella would be easier. Because like the shake was a big shake, and then the Nutella is just
I
this tiny
think
little
he
bit of
also
Nutella.
thought that it was going to be
that
like
consistency,
5,000 calories in one jar. Remember?
Well, my
then when
friend
he
who was
got
doing
there-
with me, he said he ate a whole jar, and it was 5,000. So I was
There you go.
thinking,
Maybe
So
he
then
ate
he's
the
lying.
huge
Well,
jar.
I can't imagine someone eating that whole jar of Nutella in 24 hours.
That's some thick stuff.
Well,
and
That's what I
consistency.
was
Thick
saying.
and rich. Yeah.
And I don't even eat it. I don't think I've ever eaten
You've
Nutella.
never had.
I just
Nutella?
see it.
good.
It's like peanut butter consistency wise, and
Yeah.
like I have to
Why
like
don't you try it?
drink it with water and just like
You can't say that. You
I know. I
tried
can't
it.
say I don't like it, so I had to stop before I said that. I think I had it on a piece of something that was gross. So
Yeah, if it was on a piece of meat, I can assure you it was really gross.
wherever
You
they
didn't-
actually wherever that originates from, they probably would eat it on meat there.
No,
I doubt it.
It's
That's-
France. It
It's
originated in
It's-
France. Yes.
It's a
Goes on
dessert.
grapes.
It
Well,
goes
then
on.
they'd eat it everywhere. They're French.
Nah.
I've
You
been
know
to
about
France.
French.
They use it on sweet
Can
stuff.
I be
only.
prejudiced like that?
No.
I don't think. I think you're
They're prejudiced
creating
like
a
that.
stereotype.
I'm trying to.
that doesn't
Stereotypical,
exist.
that's the word I should have been using.
But it doesn't exist. You don't know anything about France.
I know where it is. I kind of know where it is.
Kind of.
Kinda, yeah, now that I
You
think
could
about
have
it.
pointed out on a map.
Probably could.
You don't know that it's north of Spain.
Tell him. I wanted to test this
Okay,
out.
okay, so I'm right on that
east
one.
of
I'm right on that one.
England.
Got it.
West of Germany.
I got it, Alan. I
East
said
of
it.
America.
it's close to Paris.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't think
North
it's
of
close
the
to. I'm pretty sure
North
it's
of
like
the
part
Mediterranean.
of.
Yeah, north
It's
of the
located in
Mediterranean.
Paris.
And
That's
Italy.
France is in Paris. The entire country of France is in Paris.
I'm sure there's a snow globe.
I
What?
was just gonna say it's like Vatican City, a country inside
Inside
of a
of
itty bitty city.
A country inside of a city, inside of a country, inside of a
Continent.
inside
Well,
of a world.
You can keep going inside of the
Inside
solar
of the
system,
inside of a galaxy, inside of a universe,
inside of a multiverse.
Oh,
What's
inside
after
of
that?
What's next?
Yeah, Alan.
Inside of a baby.
How,
What?
Inside of a baby's brain.
I just
Inside
saw
of
a
an-
C-section. I am traumatized.
Dude, why did you watch that?
Why did you watch that?
Because it was on Facebook. Do I need any other reason?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why did you watch
Yes.
that?
Believe it or
Because,
not,
like,
you don't have to watch
Because like
everything
it
on
was just
Facebook.
like men, you better respect women, and I was like, why?
Oh
And
my
so
God.
I had to watch it.
Do you
And
respect
I-
women
I,
now?
I respect babies that have to go
Oh my
through that.
God.
Not the woman getting cut open to have another man's
They like-
child.
They like get tongs put in them, and like you just pull the baby's
And
head
so,
out with tongs.
the tongs going inside the woman gives you no respect for what they go through in
babies'
that
heads are
situation.
really soft.
Well,
You don't
so
want to.
one thing to know about that, you can, like, a woman that has a C-section can never give birth any other way after that.
It depends on the cut.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, well, I heard wrong.
Apparently.
Just kind of like how you cut your beef, you know.
I'm sure it's not exactly like that.
It's a wonder you're still single, Aaron.
He's available, ladies.
This could be yours.
For the low, low price.
Of no
For the
self.
low
Of a jar
price
of
of
Nutella.
no self-esteem.
No, he has self-esteem.
But they have to have no self-esteem.
I don't think so.
This isn't a commentary of the people who do like Aaron who listen to the show.
It's true.
Just want to
Honestly,
put that out
Aaron's a
there.
pretty cool guy. So.
Most of the time.
He's just eccentric.
We're all eccentric.
Yeah, but
You can't say
he's eccentric in his own way.
I'm concentric.
I'm pro-centric.
If I could throw my root
Oh,
beer
I came up with a new word.
What?
Pornographic memory. Or like a new phrase.
Okay, well, what does it mean?
It would mean like
I don't think that's
you
new.
remember any porno you've ever watched.
I'm pretty sure that's not new. I swear I've heard that in a show before.
I've got a
Pornographic.
pornographic. I can see it because it's gold. It is gold.
Wouldn't pornographic memory just mean
Mean
like
you
every
remember
memory you create is
as a
in
porno.
a porno way?
That'd be cool.
Like bad lighting, really cheap acting.
Music hasn't changed for the past few decades.
Bad casting.
And everyone has a bad mustache.
Oh yeah.
I'm already imagining
Oh,
it.
Yeah.
I just don't. Let's get off the subject. 'Cause Aaron is
I'm gonna
imagining.
go with it.
He's going. I can see his brain working. That's actually, I don't think I want to see that because I know what's going on in
Nah, his brain's more like.
You all have really thick mustaches.
there.
Except for Kyle. I was nice this time.
So
I have this problem where we'll finish this podcast and like the very next day or something will happen to me and I'm like, oh, I need to write that down. And I'm like, no, I'll just remember it. And then by the time 2 weeks has passed, I always forget it,
Of
but I
course.
never change my ways. Like I never actually like think to myself, well, hey Aaron, last time you forgot
it like 5 times now.
this one you maybe should be writing it down. But then I'm like, no, I'm really good at remembering things. But then I'm like, I know that.
Pornographic memory.
Yeah. They don't write
Should trade
anything
that in
down
for
at those.
Photographic.
It's strange. I'm trying to think back over the last couple weeks, and I just can't think of anything very exciting that happened to me.
I got something. So yesterday I went and hung out with some friends from the library, and we went and played Super Smash Brothers Brawl. which brought back so many memories,
Nostalgia.
right?
Sorry, dude.
But the fun part was I was like trying to play as the characters I used to be good with, and I was like sucking it up like none other because I just am so out of practice.
Then you played Ganondorf, didn't you?
No.
Who were you playing?
I was trying to do Dr. Mario, Fox,
Fox.
Link.
Okay, yeah. Falco.
I didn't do Falco because he's always bugged me, which is surprising because he is pretty much like Fox, just with a few slight differences. I tried
Wolf.
Mewtwo. Wolf's not in Brawl.
Wolf is in Brawl.
No, he's in...
Wolf is totally in
Oh,
Brawl.
I meant Melee.
Oh.
Sorry, guys.
He said Melee.
No,
Didn't
he
I said Brawl.
I was thinking Melee.
Okay.
I was thinking Melee too.
Shifting gears in my
but...
brain.
Okay, so I was playing Melee. For those who don't know, that's the GameCube version.
the second one.
The second one. And so I was playing like all my normal characters. And then I was doing horribly. So I was like, you know what? I really want to try out Jigglypuff.
No.
Because I always wanted to try and play as Jigglypuff, but she just is not the greatest.
She sucks.
Because she does suck. But
Literally, because that's some of her moves, right?
no, that's Kirby.
Yeah.
Doesn't Jigglypuff?
No.
Oh, I
No.
thought Jigglypuff did
Thank
that
you.
too.
It's
Yeah.
because we just don't play it.
But-
Kirby, who sucked up Jigglypuff, could do it.
Right.
So anyways,
Anyways.
I was playing as Jigglypuff, and actually Jigglypuff's surprisingly good if you know what you're doing. And so like I had no
So
idea.
You sucked at it.
Well, no, I had no idea what I was doing at the beginning. So I was like, well, what are the B moves again? And so like the up B move puts people to sleep, and then the down B move is like an instant kill attack. So what I started doing was like we were playing 4 people. I'd go where 2 people were fighting, like fall down and start singing, put them both to sleep, and then do the instant kill attack and kill 2 people at once. It was like so much fun, and then I'd use the rollout like as I'm falling, and then at the perfect moment release it and just ram into someone and knock them out. So like Jigglypuff was like kicking butt better than any of the other characters I was playing with. And so I thought that was funny. Oh, yeah, no, like,
Ganondorf.
Jigglypuff isn't
Well,
like the
in
greatest.
Melee, Ganondorf was the best. In Brawl, Ganondorf's.
Yeah.
And I heard that they didn't really help much with the new.
In
They didn't
all
change
of
much in the
them,
new one.
Kirby was a dick.
Kirby
And
is
he was
so
the best.
cheap.
Kirby was
love
cheap.
Kirby.
Aaron was
We were
Kirby
at-
all the time.
We say Kirby's cheap, but that's just because Aaron did it very well.
No.
No,
Elizabeth played as Kirby all night that night 'cause she was there and she dominated.
Maybe it's because she was pretty good with Kirby.
She was before we
Up
when
B,
she was
down
like
Up,
Up
yeah,
B,
exactly.
down.
before she was saying like I haven't played in so long and I sucked at it and everything.
She's
and-
a hustler.
Totally a hustler.
She says that for everything.
She does say that.
Oh,
for
I'm not going to be very good
well,
at
no,
this.
but this was
Tick,
different.
tick, tick, tick. I win.
What's that? Well,
That's
what was
cool.
That? Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, no one would have known that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it.
Well, no, but it was just
Insert
the
game
big
here.
thing is that like she would have like huge percentage of damage and she would still live because of the whole fact that you can float
Yeah,
and then the whole
endurance.
up and down.
Well, that's the thing.
But not only is he an endurance, he's like a powerhouse. He does damage like with his rock attack and that hammer, like
and then the, like
and then
super punch,
super punch, like
and then he sucks you up, and he can walk off the level,
Uh-huh.
and then you'll get kicked out, but he can fly all the way back to the top and make it. He's got
there's also he has like a fire attack
Yeah,
that when he goes
that one
forward
too.
in the in
If
melee,
he runs and
I've
press
beaten
B.
Kirby with Ganondorf. though.
Yeah.
you can beat him, but he's just like
he's a cheap.
you have to play
His
differently
moves.
against him.
His
Kudos
moves
to
sick.
you, man.
I'm in,
What I had to do to beat Aaron as Kirby was I had to learn to perfectly time Roy's defense move so that each
Oh,
time
to
he dropped as a
counter.
rock, I defensed and like totally counteracted
so I
it.
just stopped using
Yeah.
rock.
And then you kill him.
No,
No.
it's a little harder because rock does do a lot of damage. So you go to hammer.
Rock beats scissor.
Sword beats rock.
Those were the days.
It sucks. I can't find our copy of Brawl. Do you have our copy?
I
of
do
Brawl?
not. I'm sorry.
I
You
don't
should
happen
have it.
to. Well, it
Didn't
was
you
with Asher's.
suspect that it was
with Asher's
your-
with stuff.
Your family?
Yeah,
Did you guys
but
check?
They checked. They only
They only
have
have one copy, which is their copy.
Hmm.
I still think Tegan took it and gave it to someone.
I have no idea.
Wow, just
Yeah, just
accuse.
I have
was-
no evidence.
Throw it out there.
It was in the same room as Azure. She was in the same room as Azure. She's notorious for being really mean to Azure, and I don't know why anyone else would have taken it.
Well,
you know?
Dace had all his druggy friends. They could have taken it to pawn it or something, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Don't
but
go
why-
throwing Tegan
But
under the bus. There are other sketchy people
that was
there.
the
Throw someone
only
else.
Game, that was the only game that disappeared. Actually,
Probably the
Can't
best
explain
one.
it was the best one.
That's why. it
I'm
disappeared.
so lucky that Alan
probably
had
still
my
there.
Zelda copies, because if he didn't, I would have been so pissed. You have both of them, right?
And Super Mario Galaxy.
All right.
Oh, thank you.
So
Now I know where.
has everyone? So everyone's at least driven down towards Nevada, towards LA, or not LA,
Las
towards
Vegas.
Las Vegas, right? Has everyone taken a trip to Idaho?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think? What drive do you think is better?
I think they're both exactly the same. I've driven them both enough times that I've started to find similarities in both paths. Last
Except for
time
the sun.
I was driving to Idaho, I thought I was driving back from Cedar City. I think
Well,
they're
so-
both terrible.
I'm gonna counteract this with I drove up to Montana once, and that was the
Why?
best drive. I was heading to Canada.
Yeah.
Okay. I was
That was
like,
like
there's nothing in
4
Montana.
I
Why
went-
would you
that was
go to
like
I
4 or
went
5
Montana?
years
to
ago.
three,
Horses.
3 or 4.
It would have been before I got back from Florida, though.
Yeah, I was in college still though,
Yeah.
so I was.
Anyways,
I went up to Bozeman. We went up to Bozeman and then to Canada. Bozeman was great. We stayed at a hostel for $20, and there's like all these really awesome people from like France and Germany.
It's
It's like
a communal hotel.
hotel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you all
very
sleep in the
Oh,
same
horror.
room.
that's so it's not. Well, it's
It's
not a brothel.
No, essentially,
Like the
no,
defunct twin.
No.
brothel. Okay.
no. It's like a cheap lodging. You
Yeah.
know, but you
It's really cheap, but
sacrifice,
you-
like, privacy.
yeah.
and-
You share a room with like 6 to 10 other people, and
There's only one bar soap.
well, no, you
That
bring
was
your
good.
own, you bring your own stuff and stuff, and there's no
And
proof
there's-
it's not.
And there's no
provided.
locks on the bathrooms. You just gotta. hope
There are
nobody-
locks on the
No, I'm just
bathrooms.
kidding.
Well, it
Anyways,
depends on which kind of hostel
So
you're.
why did you like that drive?
Because once you hit up into the Montana area, it's like all these nice rolling hills with green grass, and the way the clouds were floating, oh, it looked like picturesque. So beautiful. Like, I want to drive up that way so I can see that view again, because it was just amazing.
So, well,
For me,
Sounds like a
I would
Windows
say
screensaver.
What?
as long as I'm not driving, either way is fine.
But
So-
if you're driving both ways, suck.
Yeah. Like, I almost feel like the way to Las Vegas sucks more because it feels longer than the one because it is longer than the one I've taken to Idaho, because I only went to the border of Idaho,
Yeah, that'll change things.
so it was only 2 hours.
Did you come with us to Boise for? You didn't?
Well, you went with us to the first
To
con in
Tamagotchi?
Boise, right?
Yeah.
So you've
Yeah,
been
'cause
all
we
the
all-
way up there, but he didn't drive all the way up there.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Oh, that was a nightmare. Did we tell you? David's told you the story about
that accident. Oh wait, no, never mind.
kind of. So like we were driving and we were listening to at the time the newest Rise Against CD, and like the cars in front of us had like swerved out of the road, and so we had to swerve to the side. And the moment that had happened, the song came on, and like the chorus lyrics were just "spin out of control, spin out," and we were like, "Oh my gosh, we're gonna die!"
Well, that was the trip where Alan ran into the one lady's car. When
You know,
we stopped for
I
gas.
felt
Like-
bad, but now that I think back, she was in the stupidest spot. She wasn't even parked; she was just blocking
For
people's
me, it
way
was just
out.
insane because Daniel's just there like, okay, Alan, be careful.
I told him, I'm like, I was like,
don't hit it.
whatever you do, don't hit anything. And what, we were like an hour out of Boise.
Like-
No, we're almost we're an hour away from home.
And
Like,
then, like,
Oh no, we were still in Idaho.
were we?
Yeah, it was because we stayed the night.
Alan's in the
at,
car for 2 seconds.
we stayed the night at Twin Falls because the
Oh
snow
yeah,
blocked
that's
everything.
right.
So
Why was
we
I
were
driving
still-
your car then?
Because I wanted a break. I had driven all the way there. I'd been driving around, And so I was like, I want to break. I'm going to drive in David's car while you drive my car, and then we'll trade off. And whatever you do, don't get in an accident. And the first place we stopped, and
I'm arguing.
We talked about this.
Yeah.
On a
The
podcast.
reason it happened was because there was this stupid lady who decided that parking
It's
like
sexist.
less than no, it's
it
not
could've been
because
a stupid
it's-
person.
it's the stupid person. Stupid is the key word here. She decided to park behind everyone who parked with barely enough room for a car to pull out, and so I couldn't see because it was pitch black and there's no lights around
Yeah,
there.
it
She
was.
And
wasn't
so
parked legally.
yeah, and so I'm all backing up, and then I'm like, okay, I think I'm good, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, what the hell? Like, I'd barely gotten like halfway out of the parking spot. I'm like, what am I gonna do? I can't move. Why is there something here? And I get out, and it was a car, and I'm like, bunch monkeys, what the heck happened? I was so pissed. And then all of a sudden, like, she had all this damage from me going
That was
5
the best.
miles
We
an
talked
hour.
about that too.
She's like, I'm pretty sure the whole frame has been bent. Nah,
You should see.
Look at this
I
one.
was-
I didn't touch your car there.
You should have
It's on
seen
your
me.
front hood.
You should have seen me just totally like go off on her though, because I was so mad. I was just like, you shouldn't have even been parked there.
We've been trying to sell my old car.
Oh my
And
gosh.
like, gotten some weird phone calls, just like people wanting to trade it for like a car that was worse than the car I'm selling, or like a work van. So we wanted to like trade it for a work van.
A work? Like what kind of work?
I don't
man?
know.
Like a child stealing man?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was telling the people at work I'm gonna have to like become a pedophile if I got that van or something. And so there was this like dealership that called me and they were like, "Yeah, come. Your car looks like something we like would want to like kind of like buy
off
and
of
sell on in our for our like used car dealership or whatever." And so they're like, "Come, what time's good for you?" And I'm like, "How about 2:00 tomorrow?" And so I went down at 2:00, and I was there on time. And he was like busy with these like 2 other customers, so I waited 2 hours.
Oh my!
And I waited for
gosh.
2 hours because I figured if I did sell the car, I'm
It'd
going to
be
be
worth it.
stranded. Well, it'd be worth it, but I'm also going to be like
Wow.
stranded there because I don't have a car back. So like, as long as it's not later than 5, I could always like go to Alan's work and he could like take me home. And so I waited there. 2 hours go by. Finally, he's done like with the people, and then he like pulls me in and like I kid you not, like I have the paper, but he like goes onto this weird website like that. Probably isn't like
It
it was a
wasn't-
weird website.
It wasn't Kelly Blue Book.
Yeah,
it
it
wasn't
wasn't
like
like-
Carfax.
It
or
wasn't
anything.
anything.
Like that.
All he types in was the year, the make, the model, and like
Mileage, bro.
not even the
Not
mileage.
What?
And that's all he types in. And he's like, well, so it looks like on average, this car is selling for like about this much, like 1,000 less than what I wanted for it. And so, and he's all like, so like, you know, just to make sure that I make money, I can't spend any more than that because, you know, like, what if I don't get that much for it? Like, I
Yeah,
need to make
exactly.
a return. It's like, what you can do those, you can like do a consignment, you can trade it in for like another car. And I'm just like, I'm like,
What I can do.
what? Like, well, he said he wanted to buy it for like 1,500, and I was just like, that's a terrible price, terrible. And I was like, on average, you don't even know what those other cars were like. Like, you don't know
Yeah.
the mileage that was on them because you didn't type that in. You don't know like anything about them if they were like dented or crashed or like.
If they were all stock or
broken
they had
down.
aftermarket
Yeah.
parts,
Yeah.
you know.
And so I was just like, I wasn't happy that I had to wait there for 2 hours. Well, like, I chose to wait there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But it still is.
Hey,
You
It's
said
great
before
you
that-
walked away.
Yeah.
Of
What-
course,
what-
that was
yeah.
terrible.
What I love is this.
$1,500.
Before we put the car up on KSL, we checked the Blue Book value. We looked on KSL at other cars that were similar that people were selling, and we set our price based on haggling room and what we should have been able to get out of it for what we had to offer. So, you know, I would have understood if the dealership guy had said something like, I can give you $2,500 for it. You know, a little bit under the blue book value and not taking into account the aftermarket stuff. But to go all the way down to $1,700, I've sold cars in worse shape than his car for more.
And that was the thing. Like, I was looking because I was like on his lot for 2 hours, so I was looking at all his cars. Like, even the worst piece of crap cars he was selling for like $5,000 and above. And so I'm like, dude, whoever does sell you a car for like $1,500, that is an idiot that you're gonna just turn around and try to sell it for $5,000.
Yep.
I'm like, I don't get why people buy from used car dealerships. I wouldn't.
It's such a horrible, even dealerships. It's just like it's a horrible game. You know, it preys on the naive and stupid.
The naivety.
Just tell them to show you the Carfax.
Carfax?
There's a Carfax.
Ugh, that's so funny.
That actually wasn't funny at all.
But
I wasn't
yes,
laughing.
funny that people think they can get away with that.
My decision now is like they have to come to me and do all the work.
They have to come to us.
What's great is that since you already have a car,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, you can hold out for whatever you want.
I think he was talking about
you need another car.
Well, no, yeah, he was he was just saying, you might be able to put it on KSL or something, but you don't know when it's going to sell. And I'm like, look, you literally called me on the first day I put it on, along with 3 other people, and so I'm like, apparently people are looking, and eventually I'll find the right person.
But you, sir, are
you
not.
I mean, I've sold 2 cars on KSL, and sometimes you have to wait a little bit, but eventually you find the person who's willing to pay you the price you want for the car, and it's none of those scams. We got the whole I can pay you, but I have to pay you through PayPal, and it's we'll take a PayPal payment, but we're not going to sign the bill of sale or the title over until the money is in our account, And so Aaron texted that guy that, and haven't heard a word since. Because what people like to do is they like to pay you through PayPal. You sign over the title, and then they say no. Then they dispute the purchase, and it goes through the whole PayPal thing. You never see your money, and most of the time they get it back, and you're out a car, you're out the money. And so whenever anybody listening to me here on the podcast right now, never sell your car until you have the money in your hand, whether it's cash, cashier's check, money order, a check from a bank that you were there when the bank wrote the check. Those are acceptable payments for your vehicle. Then you sign over the title and you go on. Don't be stupid when you sell your car.
No personal.
Want to tell your story on that one?
Which one?
Because I love that one. The guy that's like, "Oh, I'm gonna." You backed out on the deal when you were selling the Mitsubishi.
The Western Union guy.
Yeah, awesome.
What happened?
I never even heard
Oh, that was so awesome.
So I was selling my Mitsubishi, and some guy messages me and says, "I'm willing to pay you the price you want and everything like that, but I live out of state. I need to get it sent to me." And I'm like, "That's fine with me, but you have to pay for that and the car and everything like that." And he's like, "Okay, that's fine. I'll do that. But what I'm going to have to do is or the way he made it sound was, I'm going to have to send you the money for the car plus $500, and then I need you to go to a certain place, Western Union, and you pay the guy so that he can come and pick up the thing." And I'm like, "That's fine with me. As long as I have the money, I'll even go out of my way, pay the guy so that he can get it sent to you." And so I'm like, "Okay, send me the money when you're ready," and everything like that. And through a couple of emails, I finally figured out what he was actually telling me to do, because he didn't have very good English, was I needed to pay someone at Western Union $500, and then I would get the money for the car plus the $500 once he received the car. And I was like, "No, I'm not going to do that. I am not going to fork up any money to sell my car." I don't need to
And
right
the fact
now.
that you wouldn't see a return on that and all your money back until
He got the car. I was
Oh,
like,
crap.
no, that's not going to happen. If you want the car, you'll do the effort. So I tell him, nope, never mind, I'm not going to do it. And he starts freaking out. You can't go back on a contract. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to take you to court. And so I messaged him back, and I was like, there was no contract. It was a pretty much verbal agreement that I had felt was this way and you felt was wrong. Because we were never on the same terms, it doesn't really work. You know, there's no legally binding wording in any of this. We were making a deal. I accepted based on the terms I thought were there. And obviously that wasn't the case. And he's like, that's not true. I'm totally going to sue you. I'm totally going to sue you. And so I just emailed him back and said, go ahead.
You looked up his number, too.
Oh, yeah.
And then you found out that that number was one that was more so done with fraud.
Yeah, it was
one of yours was, F you, I know that you're from this, and if you take any legal action, then I've given the FBI your number. Oh, it was so
I
awesome.
totally pulled up some things.
And then his response back to him was, oh, I've given the FBI your number too. It's like, okay.
I was like,
Great.
okay, fine. You know, I'm not doing anything
Like,
wrong.
that's good. I needed to get that to them. Thanks for doing that for me.
And so it was just this, you know, he's trying to hoodwink me by making me spend money that I didn't need to spend, and then he tried to somehow convince me that
You were in the wrong.
I
the
was
whole
in the
time.
wrong the whole time, and I was just not having it.
I'm so happy because I at the time I was working for Discover, and I'd heard about different things like that happening because Western Union is the one that you have to use for doing those kinds of things, but it was the worst to ever work with. Whenever there was an issue with Western Union, it was like, you've probably lost your money.
Yeah, it's gone.
It was just so bad. So when I heard that story, I was like, yes, someone who knew.
I'm sure
Get to the mayor.
I have the emails somewhere still, and I
I
could
love
read
it.
to you guys exactly
We should
what
post
could
it on
post
the
it.
website.
Yes, exactly.
High
High five, I need one. Yes.
Remind me that. I'm gonna do that.
We'll redact certain things.
Like your social
I love
security
that
number.
name.
Yeah.
That word, redact.
Redact is a nice word. I agree.
Plus its counterpart, redacting.
It's things like that that just make me
That's
not
it.
understand how people fall for scams like
Well,
that. You
does
know?
it
I'm related
grind
to a
your
Nigerian
gears?
prince.
What?
I'm related to a
Nigerian prince?
I'm his last relative, actually.
Oh my
But
goodness.
they need.
Did he die?
$1,000
No,
so they can
he-
release his funds to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Whoa.
'Cause
How do you know?
His country's going through an internal.
Oh, I read it.
Because
On,
he's
I
the
read it
second
on
brother
Reddit.
of the last known relative of the Nigerian prince.
Nice.
So what are you waiting on now?
Oh, I'm just waiting for him to fly out to America. Hit me up. We'll hit some clubs.
It's a shame. Like, it's a shame, you know.
I thought you were going to say a sham.
No.
But it is.
It's a shame. Yeah,
It's a
but
shame.
It's a shame that people out there are wasting their talents tricking people to steal their money instead of using
Swindling.
them, you know, for something better.
Swindle's another good word. Oh, I thought there was still stuff in there.
Oh, man.
What you didn't know is that had 5,000 calories.
Yeah, I sure did.
So how about that Super Bowl? Ugh.
Oh, that
that's
end
right,
was
it
so
has been a week right
stupid.
after.
Who throws a ball when they have like two more
It
downs?
was 1 yard. They were 1 yard away.
The fact that they did throw the ball, I was like, come on. Everyone that's 1 yard away, you always do that one push just
Yeah,
to get
you know,
barely through. It's a
just-
run.
Especially if they
Everyone
have
just
the best
pushes in
running
and
back.
You just fall over
Yeah.
all.
Well,
They
you
have
just
the
have everyone
best
just
running
the
stab
guy
back.
and
jumps
then
over the
jump
front.
over.
Yes,
You know?
I love that one. But it's the same thing. Everyone normally does that, and I know that was the reason that they probably went for the pass was because.
They're trying to
Everyone
throw,
was kind of-
they're
yeah,
trying to
throw it off.
things off.
But okay, I've got to say though,
Well,
if
they
you
have terrible
rewatch that
passing
moment
game.
where he was about to catch it, where the Seahawk was about to catch it, and the Patriot guy doesn't look like he ran into him at all. He just kind of, but the Seahawk just blown off his feet, slams on the ground. But the Patriot guy looked like he just kind of touched some wind. It was just whoop.
Yeah.
It's so funny because it's almost like he's thinking, yeah.
Well, my favorite thing is the
So good.
montage of everyone's faces.
Yeah, just
Right
like,
at that moment,
It's
you
like-
know, everyone's all excited, and you can like see the moment their heart just breaks.
It's like that
Because
Simpsons moment with
you know,
Rob.
because they were just like right there. They were 1 yard away from winning the Super Bowl. I mean, how many teams can say that they were literally 1 yard away from winning the Super Bowl and they lost?
I know at least
Especially
one.
to the Patriots.
Seattle Seahawks. It was just.
However, of all the performances that were out there, Left Shark, he brought his game.
That left shark.
Well, it was funny because during the halftime show we were talking about like how this is the epitome of like a child
show.
performance.
Because there
Where,
were the
like,
trees.
Someone's
you know?
like talking to his mom like, I don't want to be the tree, and then their mom's like, you go out there and you be the best tree you can be. They'll know
They'll know
this.
Yeah, and right as we said
So
that, right? as we
there's
said,
this
there's
tree just
like,
waving
moving and
and
stuff around. Yeah.
like throwing itself across
And we're like,
the
that's
stage.
the tree! That's the tree!
That's the one that made it his. That was his. That was that tree's
that was-
performance
yeah.
and Left Shark.
Performance of a lifetime. Well, no, the reason everyone loved the left shark so much was because it looked like he had no idea what he was supposed to be doing up there. The right shark is like doing all the moves and everything, and the left shark's just kind of like, I'm trying to figure out what to do.
A
here."
dysfunctional robot.
Yeah, and everything.
That's so perfect. I was so happy about that whole thing. Like,
Well,
you
it-
can't sell merchandise for that. That shark belongs to her. Oh, it's
Well,
so
I don't think I
hilarious.
could dance that well if I was inside a shark.
I know, like, I'm surprised they were able to dance at all.
I wouldn't be dancing.
I'd be trying to find my way out. Maybe that's what was
Maybe
going
that's what
on.
he was doing.
Just trying to get out.
Get me out of here! All the costumes
They were
people are slave
slaves.
labor, and one's just like, if I do well, maybe they'll leave me, or maybe they'll let me go. And the other one's just like, get
I'm
me
outta
out
here.
of this!
This is my moment to flee.
Why isn't anyone coming to save me? I'm waving my hands around.
The trees couldn't even like wave their hands. They're just
Oh,
like,
maybe if I shake my tree leaves hard enough, they'll notice.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Yes.
what
all
about
they
the
could see
beach
was
balls?
just like thousands of people like,
It's like,
cheering and
"Whoa!"
taking pictures of it. And they're like,
This
"This
is so nice.
now."
They're crying. They're like, why are you doing this? They're aliens.
But the beach balls knew it up.
The beach
People
balls.
just looked depressed. They were like, whatever.
They were the broken ones.
Yeah. Oh,
That's hilarious.
This whole segment was brought to you by movements you couldn't see.
Perfect.
Featuring the wave.
And arm flailing.
Special guest, Left Shark.
Oh man.
We could have a
So,
segment with Left
I
Shark.
had
So what did you think?
I had a great idea for a short video. So
Is it like your other ideas?
great? Yes.
I'm glad everyone got that.
So, you know, I'm just gonna ask one question. What would it be like if sciences, or like, you know, types of sciences, like different areas of science?
Okay.
You know,
Different
like
fields.
fields of science. Yeah.
That's the
Fields of
word.
Science
Use your words.
fought together like religions fight together.
Oh, wow.
That'd be kind of cool.
So, like, a
Like
podiatrist hates the optometrist.
Kind of. More like
Or
more like geologists are attacking like
that one.
physicists,
Yeah,
and a
okay.
chemist is like, take this Molotov cocktail of, you know,
Of knowledge.
of knowledge.
And then the
happening
biologists
with
are like
religion?
growing
Yeah.
plants. Yeah, think
Not
about
all
Israel
religions, but
Yeah.
but just like
and ISIS.
just
Or
like
the
what
Crusades.
if they were like as against each other as religions seem to be against each other.
You assume they're not. Dun dun dun.
Well, I know all of them
Cue
are
the hamster
together
turning around
except for geology. Like geology
That's
is
what
like
I was
the
thinking.
the
Like
one
geology,
outlier.
they're like, get your head out of the rocks.
Which is funny because I love geology and I'm not a big fan of the rest of them.
okay, psychology major.
Yeah.
Psychology.
Hey, psychology's in the same boat as geology, anyways.
Useless.
Psychologists are trying to like
Just kidding.
mentally,
Yeah.
screw
Or like
people up.
telekinesis.
No, those are
No,
only the
they would just-
psychiatrists.
They would just
in
go
that
up to
field.
them and go, "So how's your father doing?"
Yeah.
I hate you! No, every time! We just can't beat this guy! Starts
What was the
crying
name
on the
of your
street.
puppy again?
I hear I hear that so and so's
rock.
mother was doing well. Oh, so now you're talking about your mother. You know my mother died.
Oh, wow. That escalated quickly.
No, like
I know, I'm kidding.
But yeah, it was a
That would
funny
be, that's
thought.
interesting.
psychological warfare. There's a warfare named after it.
After a lot of
There's
sciences,
biological
like
warfare,
there's biological
chemical warfare, physical warfare,
Isn't
geological
that normal
warfare,
warfare?
atom,
What's physical warfare?
atom bomb warfare,
atomic warfare,
nuclear warfare.
botanical warfare.
Hydraulic warfare?
Hydroponic.
That's called a water fire.
Water gun.
I hate you!
water balloons.
Ultimately, I think that's how a science war would go down with, like, Nerf guns and
Yeah.
water guns.
No!
A paintball arena.
I'm sure they would find more boring ways. Like,
You'd rather
fine,
like pocket
we will
protect.
we will each write a paper, and whichever paper is better or gets more noticed
They
is the
put
winner.
5 in a room and like one inhaler. And just like
Fight to the
see who can go the longest without an inhaler.
Fight for it and need the inhaler, or hold off until
Yeah.
it's required.
Because if you're like,
See, the
go
problem is
for it.
they'd all run for it, hit their heads at the same time,
And fall
and pass
over.
out.
One of them would wake up.
And then the first one to wake up would just grab the inhaler.
Because
They
they're a
wouldn't
couple of
think about it.
eggheads.
Oh.
Okay. Imagine.
Dragons.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I heard a phrase, and then I was just kind of like thinking how it would hold up in court. But like, the phrase was like, God's alibi, and I'm like, think if like God had to like take the stand in the court for like a murder, and they were like, where were you on the night of the
I
murder?
was everywhere.
I was
He's like,
everywhere.
Well, I was there.
I definitely was
And then,
there.
and then the guy's like, yeah, in fact, you were at every single murder that took place in the room. And all
How
the,
do we know
all
you
the
didn't
jury
do it?
members are like, oh yeah, he's good. He's
Oh,
good.
yeah, yeah. Oh, man. Can you? So the real question is, why didn't you stop it?
But he'd be like, well, I was there, but I also was not.
I know, exactly.
I have an alibi.
I was
Like,
not
I can
there,
tell you
but I was there.
800 non-murder places that I was.
Well, here's the
And let's
question.
bring in the witnesses.
Here's the
I
question.
helped those
Here's the
people.
question. Why would he say he was there? He would be like, I have an alibi. Ask these, 6 billion people I was hanging out with at that one point.
You are under oath by God, Daniel.
Oh, I'm under oath by me.
Technically, wouldn't God be telling the truth and lying at the same time?
Oh. Here's my question. Wouldn't he know exactly what to say to get out of whatever the lawyer's trying to get him
Well,
to?
yeah, he would know who the murderer was.
It wasn't me.
Yes.
I was there, yeah.
Yes, I
Oh,
was
you were there for all of them. Yeah. And it
And
was
I
done
was
by
there.
this, that person on the jury.
And you,
That's
sir,
you.
weren't a part of a
I
murder, but
recall.
you are sick. I mean, you are sick.
Like,
The
Like,
judge's
they
wife?
They can't get
Whoa.
you for anything.
Guilty.
The defendant.
Yeah.
and then there's a round of applause. In the courtroom.
Woo! It's like, thank you. I'm at 100 other courtrooms right now.
And then Stairway to Heaven.
I'll be everywhere till Tuesday.
I'm everywhere till Sunday.
Oh man, that escalated quickly too.
Oh, something exciting did happen to me. I got a letter for jury duty. Well, not quite.
Finally.
Yeah.
Like further
For
past the moment of them saying you possibly will be chosen, or
No,
just that moment?
It's just
like
the
between
fill out the
this-
application
Yeah.
between March, the beginning of March and the end of March. You might be called.
Yeah, I
But
got that.
you've got that one.
I got it, but it wasn't chosen.
No.
Me too.
You have.
Since I'm a
I've gotten
psychology
ones
major,
before.
I'm hoping that our
My
psychology.
Nick,
I'm hoping I
my
get
coworker
chosen.
actually did get chosen, but they ended up. I can't remember. I think he actually
didn't
did.
they?
do it, or
No, didn't they go to?
But they dropped the cases.
They
They might
uh,
have or something. But he
they-
definitely was going to be part of it, and it
Yeah.
didn't pan out.
they got a settlement, wasn't it?
Oh, maybe that's what it
That's,
was.
yeah, they settled.
I
I
hope.
like that this is exciting. Like
Right?
they always show it in shows,
Like-
like, oh, they've got jury duty, and we're sitting here like, oh my gosh,
Well,
Well,
I don't know
you-
why
see,
people
like-
are so
well,
like against it.
Because
It
I
sounds
think
exciting.
you assume like that the members in your jury are going to be competent, but what if you've got like
Then it's like 12 Angry Men. I get to be the one to convince them
Yeah,
all.
exactly.
I'll be like,
that's what I'm
We-
hoping for.
We're not what?
The guy
Yeah.
that was
We're not leaving
is
this
Piglet.
room.
We're not.
He's the voice of
Wait,
Piglet.
do you get paid
Oh, yeah,
just
yeah.
for the session or for how long you're in?
It's
For
like
how
you
long?
get a certain
So,
amount.
Always
and
be the swing vote.
Well,
Well,
here's the
no,
thing.
here's
you
the-
just make it
I
last.
get paid, like, my job, what it does is if you turn in the check you got from jury duty, you get paid what you
For
would have
that
been
time?
paid
Wow.
at work. And it's
But your
time
salary.
exactly. But I don't have to take vacation
But
days
yeah,
or
it doesn't.
anything.
Yeah.
I just don't have to go to work.
well, see for me like I don't know whatever the like majority was, I would just try to like
Be the devil's
Change.
advocate.
Yeah,
Like,
just to do it.
see if like I really knew what was like going on or what the like truth was, if I could like convince everyone else that
that
it
it
was
wasn't
wrong.
the case.
And then
And
at
at
the
the very
end,
end-
just be like, "You guys are dumb. It was totally.
It was
wrong."
totally this.
But then they'd be like, no, it's this for these reasons. Like, I made those
I'd
up.
be like,
Well, but the problem is if Aaron does that,
Magic.
then they can't, without reasonable doubt, say that he's guilty.
Yeah, if
So
Aaron,
if Aaron
Aaron
can
can
convince them
convince
otherwise,
You guys
Then-
make it sound like jury duty is always about like murders. My dad got called for jury duty for like malpractice.
it's
I
the
know.
same thing. They have to have enough evidence to,
it's true.
That'd be funny to be jury duty for drunk driving and you come on there all drunk. Let's
They-
do this.
They screen you for things like that.
You'd
That's
at
a good
least
way to
of
get
jury.
out of jury
Exactly.
duty.
Ah.
But once again, we go back to the point: why do you want to get out of
Well,
it?
I
it's because
think it
a
would
lot
be-
of jobs don't compensate.
Oh, compensation.
And so you get
would be a
paid
thing.
a certain amount for being there, but if normally you work and you make
Getting
double,
a lot more. Yeah.
you're
That's
making
true.
a lot less.
That's true. My job doesn't matter, but other jobs would.
Mine wouldn't matter either.
How does that make you feel? Your job not mattering.
It makes me feel like I have a job where I get to do pretty much what I want.
Yeah,
Do what
you're
we want.
right. We're Panda.
Woo! WerePanda
WPP.
Productions. Oh, everyone remember, 22nd, business card designs. If any of you want to submit a design, just have it done by the 22nd.
And we do
Okay.
not accept poop on cards.
Alan.
Why are you
we're
looking
at
at
You know what you did.
I don't
Is this open to
actually.
our listeners?
Credit card
Like if they
himself.
have an idea for a business
Yeah.
cards, they could submit.
Oh,
I would
hey,
say
yeah.
so.
Yeah, if you have
It's pretty
based on
short
what you
notice.
see on the website or anything like that, February 22nd, send your designs to general@werepandaproductions.com. If we like it, we'll showcase it on the website and get your name out there and everything like that.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Crap, I was going to say
But
something.
I
Crap,
just
I'm sick.
no. You might be better than me.
What?
For the other people.
I know. I just-
Oh, yeah. For the weekly updates, I was
Oh, yeah.
thinking of trying to continue, like,
No talent.
I think I talked to
A
you about
background
it. Like,
story?
have that story thing where, oh, there's a fire and Jerry hasn't put it out in forever and then make up. I want to try to make a story happening in the background all the time. and just have it something that's always like some inner
Develop
turmoil
like a
or
love story.
exactly. I think that would be so perfect, especially if everyone believes it. Gotta say it quietly so anyone that listens to this podcast doesn't realize that I'm making it.
You just spend the whole last minute saying, "I want to make up a
Yeah,
story."
exactly. I know. But honestly, though, when it comes down to it, I feel like more people would not listen to the podcast than all of our other content.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, the
Not saying that we
the
won't have
podcasts are
listeners,
fun,
Yeah.
but they're also long and they're
Yeah.
extra stuff. I highly doubt that we're gonna have religious podcast listeners.
Oh, I
as
think there will be
opposed to-
specific ones that's like, I always listen
Well,
to
yeah,
this,
but I
all
meant
of them.
as opposed to
Yeah,
religious
my mom.
post readers
Yeah.
and things like that. You know, we're getting more people looking at our stuff, Kylie.
Your mom's still our number one fan that watches
We
religious.
got
No,
one.
no, we've got a real number one fan.
Whoa! You want?
Ouch.
What did you just say about your mother in that sentence?
I mean, your mother can't be your number one fan. That's just sad.
Oh my gosh, you're just digging a hole.
She's
I think what Daniel's trying to
she's
say.
a number 2.
I think what Daniel's trying to say is that our mom is always going to be our number one fan. So it's hard to measure things based on that. So we have another number one
She's
fan
my-
that's not.
she's a number
See,
C.
Daniel,
Wow.
this is
She's-
why he's the favorite.
No, she's so she's the number one fan of my life in general. But we have a number one fan of WerePanda.
She's still the number one fan of WerePanda, I'd say.
She's number
But we
0.
also have.
She's the
there,
number
yeah.
zero fan. She was,
I don't know if
patient.
that's-
she was a fan before. It
She's
was cool.
patient 0.
She's the hipster fan.
Yeah, she's the hipster fan.
Thanks,
We make
Ida.
her a hat now with the WerePanda and it says hipster fan.
Sure, we could do that.
Well, I think that would give the wrong idea.
I'm totally doing it.
Okay.
Hipster fan, and then there's an old fan.
Yeah,
WerePanda with the old fan blowing at the WerePanda.
There we go.
And the panda just there.
It's fur. Like
Nice. Good thought. That's another idea. Sweet.
We could sell that.
Yeah, I remember merchandising. We need to come up with some merchandising that we can maybe sell to make some money this year.
and not
So-
poop on T-shirts.
Gosh,
Oh
Alan.
my God.
It's like it's like you turn around and you turn back and he's pooped on
Oh.
something else.
Oh, I know. We should have a shirt that says, "Alan, do your jig" or something.
No! No! No!
I love it.
Let
I
it
love
go!
The
There's
WerePanda
no
and
shit.
then Alan, do your jig. We're gonna do it.
Yes. All right. Perfect. On that note.
Yeah,
If we're
on
gonna
that
wait,
note.
no. If we're gonna do a jig one, we have to do your alien and
Yes.
alien club one as well.
Yes.
I'll admit to, when I told them the story of the UFO we saw that one time, they're like, "Are you sure you remember everything, Daniel?"
Did you have an odd tingling in your butt afterwards? Oh,
We
we
could
did.
make
We
one up
did
for
bring that
everyone.
up.
Yeah.
You could have your jig. Daniel could have the alien thing. Aaron could have the an itty bitty little speck and an arrow that says, "This is gonna take your eye out."
Ah, there's that one.
It's gonna
Or
break
like
like
my
on the
eye.
front,
Fireworks shrapnel.
on the front, it'll say like "pus." And then-
Oh,
or Luke.
Or
No.
still that little speck and it'd say, "This is how much I care about you." For women.
So what would yours be?
I don't know.
What would Levi's be?
Don't look up at fireworks. That's fine.
Just to be my eye.
Yeah.
Ah,
It's in my eye.
You leave our boring.
It should be like a huge rock just on someone's eye and underneath it says, my eye!
We could Levi's could be what's the word? I can't remember.
What's the word? Loser. What's another word for that?
Levi. Oh, wait, no.
No,
that
that
can't
can't.
work. That's too obvious.
I don't know.
I mean, if we really wanted to go into the realm of being mean, we could have a picture of Levi that says "No longer forever alone."
Yes. Yes.
No longer single.
We might have to take those out of production.
Or no,
It
we
just
could
doesn't-
we can have just
Like, hey,
forever
everyone
alone
knows.
with a crossing out the alone part. Forever alone and then cross out the alone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It should be It should be something where people can like take it off and put it on.
It's got like a little
like a
Velcro.
Velcro thing. So an X with the Velcro, and
That's
so
not bad.
if Levi's dating someone, they can put it on, and when it's not, they can take it off.
Like you sell it to a bunch of people, and it's how people know if you're single or not.
Perfect.
Well then, well,
It's like you trying to like hit on a girl. I see you're available, and then she like just takes it out of nowhere and puts it on. She's like, no, I'm pretty sure it's you.
I'm sorry, I forgot to put the song on my way out.
put my ex on.
Nice.
Well, on that note, I think we can call it good. So this was the
Where?
Panda.
Podcast.
Featuring
Daniel.
Levi.
Alan.
Aaron.
and Kylie.
Wow.
Woo, we got it
That
right.
could basically be the final note, but
We could put that on
Velcro
my
t-shirt
shirt.
is better.